Are you ready for a nighttime adventure? Me too. If you're ready, grab a flashlight and come along with me. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on this solo nighttime adventure. I'm doing this video for two reasons mainly. Number one is to get some fresh air and some footsteps in. Number two is to check out a product that was sent to me for review, which we'll talk more about that later on. Lastly is to just enjoy a calm, peaceful night on a cold winter evening here in Pennsylvania. I am walking a former rail line here, an abandoned rail line. It's off to my left in the back and going ahead of us. I have done videos on it in the past, and this time of year there's practically no one here. I have it to myself. Sunset's going down in about 30 minutes, and we're going to be turning on some lights, doing some walking, some talking, showing you the sights and sounds, and as I mentioned a little bit later on, we'll take a little peek at that new product that was sent in, and maybe you'll want to check it out for yourselves. So without wasting more time, we got some ground to cover. We're going to keep moving. There is still some snowfall back here out in the open areas. Most of it is melted, but back here under the canopy there is still coating. And there's something I want to show you here, which I found over the summer of 2020. And that right there is a pretty old stone culvert, which goes under the rail bed to the other side of some wetlands. And I do have plans to return in warmer weather to walk through it. You kind of have to hunch over to make your way through, but it is still worth checking out. Never been through that one before, but it does flow, and I do have it marked with blue ribbon as the trail that the water is taking. So you will see this again in the coming months. We'll be getting our feet wet and going through there. So without drawing this out too long, actually before I do that, I wanted to show you could tell where the rail line used to be. All those slits is where rail ties used to be. It's kind of indentations. So we are following the rail line here on our left. You can see remnants of a telegraph pole there. And on our way down, it'll be on our left. On the way back, it'll be on our right. But without drawing this out longer than it has to be, I'm going to save you the effort of having to walk further back and wait for nighttime to fall. And by the time I bring it back, it will be considerably darker and will be further down, down the trail. So with the movie magic, I will see you guys in just a second. And just like that, it's now dusk. The sun has set behind me roughly about 20 minutes ago or so. This is just some residual light. But as we make our way, it's going to get darker and darker. I do have a light panel with me so we can illuminate where we're going so we don't get hurt, do things safely. And once we're further down the trail, we're going to find a nice spot to stop for a few minutes. I'll show you the item they brought with me, talk briefly about it, and then we'll use that for the remainder portion of this video. I'm not going to focus too much on it because this video is more about the adventure, not so much about the product, but I need to do my due diligence and at least let you know what I do have with me. But with that said, we're going to keep the adventure rolling. And hopefully we come out in one piece. So let's keep moving. Now I know the image doesn't look the greatest or clearest because I'm using my action camera and it doesn't do very well in low light, but I'm going to turn on my lighting here and that should help a little bit. I'm on a side trail now. I got off the main trail that I was on, which is off in the distance to the left. We are going to meet up with it in just a little bit. And you will hear some traffic in the distance. That is Interstate 81. You can tell this path has been used by ATVs. There's no snow on it except for the outer portions. And make sure, if you guys are enjoying this little nighttime adventure with me, the best and easiest way to show your support is to give one of these. Hopefully I don't look too washed out, but I just wanted to share a quick little story with you. I had plans to do this video for a few weeks now, and I wanted to pick a nice night where it's cold, relatively calm, and hopefully that there was still snow on the ground, which there is. The only problem is earlier today it was mostly cloudy, and it looked like it was going to get darker earlier than anticipated. So I came here around 4:30, starting my trek back here where we started the video, and now we're after 5:15. It's still light outside. That's because the skies cleared up as the evening went on. So I actually sat around for a good 45 minutes waiting for darkness, which hasn't fully set in yet. So it's just some of the struggles, some of the unanticipated issues that do arise while filming on location. So not that I'm complaining about it, just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, what you see in the video is the edited down final version. What actually takes place is very time consuming, some waiting around, some standing around, and that's just the way it goes. But Mother Nature cleared up her skies and prolonged the daylight for an extra at least half an hour. So otherwise, everything else is going according to plan, and we can get back on the trail, follow this out to the main trail next to the old rail line. One of the many things you'll find in the woods are tires. This is a big heavy-duty commercial tire. May even been off a piece of heavy equipment, possibly a triaxle, but it always makes you wonder, how did it get all the way back here? One may never know. With the light off now, you can actually see we are not too far away from total darkness. Now obviously the snow is going to provide a little bit of, not lighting, but it won't make it as dark as it normally would during, say, the summertime. But since there's no leaves on the trees, we got white on the ground, there will be some ambient lighting, which is going to help, but I can't control that portion of the video. I can only make it so dark based on what nature provides. On a quick side note, I want to address a few people asking about me doing some more cooking videos. Now, in the past, I've done one or two. Most recent, I did Little Smokies at a stone culvert. That was in the fall time. Prior to that, I did do some of those camping meals. I think Mountain Air they are. But I do have more things planned, not only for the camping meal, the pouches, but bringing actual food, like making bacon and eggs, making a burger, stuff like that. So that stuff will be coming out. I do have a few unique locations in mind, which are going to make for a rather unique experience to cook food at these particular locations. So those of you that are interested in watching that, rest assured they will be coming out in the coming months. So just be on the lookout for that. They probably will fall under the Chow Time playlist for a type of food episode. So I'm going to turn you guys around. We are now at the portion of our junction here where the trail that we're just walking on meets back up with the main trail where the rail line is. So that is looking where we just came from. And here the trail ends and meets up with the main thoroughfare, if you want to call it that. Now what you see here, what looks like water, is frozen. Now I wouldn't walk on it, but it is icy and slippery, so when you're passing by behind me, make sure you stay to the side. It's going to get significantly darker up here because there's actually a nice canopy, almost tunnel-like formation with some pine trees and evergreens. So you can see straight ahead. It's a straight and narrow path, but it is much darker because of all the evergreen trees. I don't know about you guys, but this is a perfect time of year for me to be doing this because number one, bears are hibernating. Number two, there's no insects, mosquitoes, or bugs. Number three, there's no snakes. So despite being cold, if you dress appropriately, it is much more favorable conditions for being out in the woods and nature. Now the lights turned off and the sun fully set and ambient lighting going away, you can truly see how dark it is. Now when I tilt down, you're probably not going to be able to see much of anything. So yep, we are going into the darkness. Now there is a spot coming up further ahead I do know of, which would be a nice little area for us to kind of take a few moments to take a break. And I'll show you what I brought with me. And then we're gonna kind of switch things around where I'm gonna mount you guys on my head and we're gonna be walking our way back with the item in hand. And we'll be able to share a few thoughts about it and make it feel like you're actually the one walking yourself back here. Here's another potential hazard. Okay, so I'm going to save you the hassle of having to walk around these puddles and stuff like that. I'm going to get to the little area that I know of, and from there we'll pick back up with the video and check out the little gadget that I brought with me. So right now we're at a location that you've seen before in a previous video, and one that you're going to see me return to again this summer. This is another stone culvert here. I'm going to show a clip right now. It's a much larger one, big pool of water down to my right here, and I'm going to be returning in the summertime to do some underwater footage, probably some snorkeling. But right now we're sitting on some stone slabs on the left side of the culvert here. You can hear the water running, but it's a nice little area to kind of sit down, take a break, and talk about this. This is a flashlight sent to me from Brinyte. This is the second item they sent to me for review. This is the PT18 Oathkeeper. Now this is not a tactical light, unlike a lot of lights I do review, especially by Brinyte. This is more of a self-protection, law enforcement light, and I'll explain why. So first off, it does come in this nice nylon holster, Velcro, and has a swivel belt clip. So you can mount it any way you want. But the unique thing is it actually has holes on the bottom and on the top. That's because it allows you to use the light in the pouch, which I've never seen before. So right now, I can hit the tail switch here and light it up. And it's still working inside the pouch. So that's a pretty cool design. Makes it rather efficient, so you don't have to sit there and fumble about ripping it out. If you need light really quick, you just grab the whole pouch, hit the tail switch, and you're ready to go. Now this does have actually 3 buttons for operation. It has 2 prime tail switches right here and a side button right here. So the side button is a secondary switch which allows you to cycle through your light modes like low, medium, high, turbo, strobe, SOS. But you're primarily going to be using these 2 buttons here. The main button, the big button here, is your turbo button. You hit that, that is over 2000 lumens output. The smaller button, which you hold, is a strobe button. So you're probably wondering, maybe wondering, why is it designed like that? Because this is designed to kind of fend off an attacker, distract someone's vision, and without having to go through different light modes, you have, I'm going to show it on myself here, strobe or turbo, super bright, and it's very simple thumb design here. On top of that, It does come with this wrist strap lanyard. This is not just any ordinary lanyard though. This is actually made of paracord. This does come free included. And this is great for other situations, like if you need to replace a boot, like a shoelace on your boot, or to tie down a hammock or something like that. So you do have a nice strand of paracord, which is detachable, but it does come with it, and you could adjust it. And right there, now it's attached, and it's strong cord. It's not going to go anywhere. There is another feature with this too. For charging, it has a magnetic charger. There's a little side port here. Comes with a magnetic charger, which illuminates when you plug it in. All it does is it grabs onto that with magnetic pull, and it starts charging. The light here on the button will illuminate red. When it's fully charged, it'll turn blue. But magnetic charging, you never have to remove the battery. But inside though is a rechargeable 3100 milliamp rechargeable battery. It does come included. And there is a good thing and a bad thing about that charging port, and I'll explain that in a little while. One more thing though I need to show you. It actually comes with this. This is a ring. And I'm going to put it on here and explain what it's for. So right now it's a ring attached. This is for your finger to have a good firm grip on this. So when you're depressing the buttons with your thumb, you can let go, it's not going to fall out of your hand. So this is a nice additional feature to give you a grip which is detachable. Also, it has a little point on it which you may or may not be able to see. You hit someone with that, it's going to hurt. So that's a form of self-protection. So if someone was coming at you, if they're still coming at you as you're trying to blind them, you smack them with that point. That hurt someone coming. You smack them with this, it's going to hurt. So detachable ring, detachable paracord, rechargeable battery, and that is a look at the PT18 Oathkeeper by Brinyte. I do want to thank Brinyte for sending this out to me for review. But now we're going to put it to the test. I'm going to mount you guys on my head. We're going to continue in the darkness down the trail using just this light alone. Alright, I know you can't see anything right now, but you are mounted on my head. You could take the position of leading the way. And just to show you, I do have my light panel here. That is on full brightness. It shows in the immediate area pretty good, but not too far in the distance. Now I'm going to power on the Brinyte Oathkeeper. Now this is more of a concentrated beam. Shows much further, and here's with both of them. Combination of both, you have the perfect lighting, floodlight and spotlight, but we're going to be using just the Oathkeeper here. And I'm going to demonstrate too the strobe function, so be prepared for some strobe lights. That is just depressing the smaller tail switch there, and that is a great little strobe feature. And now this light, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I do want to mention just a couple things. Number one is that this is a great light to have for a situation like this, because I am alone. Although I can handle myself in most situations, you never know who or what you may encounter. Now, aside from having pepper spray on my wrist, I do have a hunting knife on my backpack, and now I do have a light source that could potentially alter someone's vision temporarily, and has that strike ring for close contact. So if you are someone who does a lot of things by yourself or want some added protection, you may want to consider getting this. I did do a review on a through night tactical light that does have a strike ring, a strike bezel. So between both lights, they are a bit different. This one is larger, doesn't have as high of output for turbo mode, but this does have the paracord, does have the magnetic charger. And that's the second thing I want to mention, is the magnetic charging. There are two things I want to mention. Number one is that magnetic charging is quick, easy, and convenient. All you do is attach the provided cable and it starts charging automatically. You don't have to remove any flaps, you don't have to search for anything, try to get anything to fit in the hole as far as like a USB cable. the magnetic charging will take care of it on its own. The negative though is that it's a proprietary cable. If you don't have that cable, you cannot charge the battery. So if you want to charge it on the go in the field, that will need to be brought with you. With other products, other lights I've reviewed, most of them take micro USB or USB-C charging cables, which means if you bring a battery bank with you, a power bank, most people have at least one of those cables with them for charging their phone, and you'd be able to charge the light. So to charge this light on the go, if you're going to do an overnight trip or an extended trip, that cable must be brought, otherwise you won't be able to charge your light. Now, as comparison, I know my action camera is not really fulfilling its duties as to what I see. This light is actually pretty bright. It's showing at least 100 feet. I'm going to film just a clip next with my phone, which does a little bit better under these conditions, and you'll be able to see a little bit closer to what I see. Okay, so right now I'm using the phone for this clip. I am facing straight ahead. It is complete darkness. I'm going to turn on the PT18. There you can see, this is pretty bright. Big difference from my action camera, but the action camera is not intended for low light purposes, but this is more like what I see. This light does put out a good amount of light, shows quite a distance. And that is on turbo mode, the highest mode at just over 2,000 lumens. So now we're going to switch back to my action camera and continue along. So another thing I just discovered is this ring makes a pretty good hook. If you want to hang the light somewhere, you could just hang it and turn it on and have some illumination hands-free. So the ring serves as a third purpose for not only grip, but protection, but also as a hook. So I do like that. It's pretty convenient. Obviously people come back here, but it's always disappointing to see when people leave their trash behind, cigarettes and water bottle. If you could carry it out here, I know you could carry it back. So now that we're walking in the opposite direction, the rail line would be right here on the right hand side. There are some rail ties still there. If you look closely, you'll find some of them. There's one right there covered in snow and nature's carpet. So for some future nighttime adventures, I'm going to try to decide on what cameras to use, because the action camera is the most convenient. It's lightweight, it's portable, it's tough, but I do know it struggles in situations like this. I know you can't see a whole lot, but at the same time, the phone does do better, but I don't always want to use the phone in situations where I could potentially drop it or fall and break it, and then I'm without a phone. My main camera, my Panasonic camera, does have night vision, does do pretty well in low light, but it's a big bulky camera. It's heavy. So ideally, you know, like a DSLR, a more expensive full frame camera will do much better, but it's very expensive, very heavy. So we'll have to see what you guys think. I mean, if you guys are okay with this type of footage, more of like a Blair Witch type raw and real type of thing, I have no issues continuing with this, but at the same time, I don't want to shortchange you and allow you to only see a little bit of what I see. So feedback will be appreciated, and we'll hopefully make some good decisions going forth, because I do want to do a wide range of things coming here in 2021. I'm going to turn this light off for a second and keep walking, and you'll be able to see how dark it is and just kind of soak in the environment. Now I can actually see a little bit. It does help that I'm on the main trail, but the snow, which you guys can't see at the moment, is indeed helping. It is giving me a little bit of a path to follow, so it's not too terribly difficult for me to walk without a light. And there's the snow and the ice. If you guys decide you want to get more information about this light, or possibly pick one up for yourself, the link will be provided down below in the description. The price does vary a little bit, so you could try shopping around, but the link I'm going to provide will have the most up-to-date price. And although Brinyte lights are a little bit on the more high-end, more expensive side, they do make quality products. This is their second light they've given to me, and I am happy with it. It's not, I wouldn't say my favorite light, but it's definitely one I would feel comfortable taking with under most situations. The only thing I prefer is if it had more of a wider beam of light, more of a floodlight. But this is good for something like this. I could see far away. So if you're doing nighttime trails, if you're doing caving, anything that requires a bright light, ease of use, and showing at a distance, this is definitely something to consider using. But I know you guys don't want to hear me ramble the whole time, so I'm going to keep walking. I'm going to cover some ground, and then we're going to be wrapping things up from there. I do have a short photo montage, which I'm going to share with you immediately after this segment right here. Once the photo montage is done, I'll be back to bid farewell. Alright guys, don't mean to scare you with the lighting, but I need to illuminate myself a little bit. I first want to thank you for joining me for this solo nighttime adventure. I had a great time. And in case you were wondering, I forgot to mention, the temperature is in the mid to upper 20s, slight breeze of like 5 to 10 miles per hour. And with us moving the whole time, it wasn't too bad. Stayed pretty warm. A couple of fingertips are a little chilly, ears a little chilly, but other than that, doing fine though. Not too far away from the car, so I did make it back in one piece. Hopefully you did as well. I don't think anyone tripped and fell, so that's a good thing. Don't forget, if you want to get more information about this light, check the description down below. And for some more awesome adventures on the way, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and to have that notification bell rung. So with that said, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay warm wherever you are. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Here's just a little bit of bonus footage for those of you who did stick around. It's not nighttime yet, but the sun did go down. And aside from traffic in the distance, it's really quiet, slight breeze, but I want to show you the colors in the sky. I know this camera doesn't do so well in low light, but from what I see on the screen, it's pretty close to what I see here in person. Got oranges, yellows, blues, reds. It's pretty amazing. Just want to share that little clip with you.